Hi everyone, Stacy from Dies to Die For. Welcome back to night 20 of our 25 Dies of Christmas. Tonight we'll be doing the Peace on Earth lantern card. I already got it started by putting down our, this is our music note border. I already glued these down because they are really small and it took me quite a while to get them glued, so I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me do that. And then here is our A2 that I also already glued. And I went around the edges of the paper with the Simon Hurley Gur ink, just around the edges quick. And then I cut a square with our basic square set. And then I went around the edges of that in the brown ink also. Let me see. Then our lantern die, this is our rounded lantern die. I use that and our Christmas candles. I use this size Christmas candle and I put it right on the inside of our lantern. First, I took our lantern and I glued vellum on the back of it. I'm gonna cut out. And I was just looking for my yellow ink pad because I need my yellow ink pad for this and I don't see it. Grace, can you check in my bag for me and see if my yellow ink pad's in there, please? Oh, and there goes our heater kicking on, so I'll talk a little bit louder again. Okay. I cut the vellum out around the lantern. You don't see it? Okay, let me see one of my blending brushes. Maybe there's enough yellow ink on it. Just to show you guys so you get the idea. I just took my yellow ink, yeah, there's some on it still, and did the back of the lantern. And then I went over the front a little bit to brighten it. And this is what it should look like. And I took our candle and glued it on. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the very bottom and kind of center it. Okay, that's how I built the lantern. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue my square onto my A2 size card. And the A2 card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I glued the square onto the right side. The A2 card I've already put the music notes on. I used the biggest size music note on the die and just scattered them. And my slimline card is 3 1/2 by 8 1/2 tonight. Okay, this I actually still have to put my music notes on it. So I'm gonna start with this and go kind of quickly because I already put my adhesive on my square. Kind of forgot that I didn't have my music notes down on this. Let's see, we'll put one over here. And it doesn't matter the order that you put them in, just stick them down. Put a little more glue on the back of this. Put this one up a little higher. even know how many I used, but on the A2, I didn't put any right here because you're not gonna see that. And on this card, probably right about here, I won't put anything past that because it will be hidden behind our square. Right here, you still are gonna see a little bit, so I'll move that note up actually. This needs a little more adhesive on it. Almost done with our music notes here. Okay, where's my square? Let's see. Oh, I think one more note right there. Sorry about that. I brought my 3 youngest children with me tonight because they want to go look at the Christmas lights behind our building, so they're supposed to be sitting there quietly. Okay, now I'm gonna glue my lantern onto the little square that I put there. Oops, try not to get any glue that shows through onto the vellum. And then put the lantern so it's just kind of just off the bottom of the square. Now we'll do our lantern on our A2 card. Okay, we have both of those down. Now back to our pine needle die. We're going to use our pine needle and our pine cones. And then also, where is the die? I used the bow off of our presents die. Show you that in a minute though, how I use that. Okay. And then the pine needles I just kind of arranged at the bottom. So I think I'm gonna put this one over here first. If you guys have gotten anything out of my 25 dies of Christmas videos, it should be that our pine needle and our holly and berry are probably our most useful dies around the holiday season. Well, the pine needle I think is useful all year long because I use it on cards all year. Okay, I'm gonna stick a couple of the little, did I show you the pine cones? I used this little pine cone. Stick a few pine cones down. Then, after I do that, I want to show you how I do the bows, how I make the bows so they have the backing behind them. I do not cut around that whole piece, like glue a piece of paper on and cut around it. No, I'm not doing that. This is how I do it. I take 3 pieces of paper, I've already cut them into little squares, and I stack them. And then I put them on top of my die. I'm gonna go over here real quick and roll this through. And every machine's different. My machine, I only have to put 3 pieces of paper. Your machine, you might only need 2, or you might need 4. But, okay. Let me show you what that does now. It completely cuts out layer 1 and layer 2 that are stuck together here. Take them apart so you can see. Those are completely cut out, but the 3rd layer, it just cuts around the edges and it leaves the center. So I cut that layer, and then what way does this line up? Right here. And then glue this right on the top. In doing that, you can make the back layer whatever color you want. I made it the same red as I made my bows, but you get the idea. That's how I cut out most of my backers for my dies, like my brick wall or any of the dies that I don't want to take the time to glue each individual piece back in. I just cut a 3rd layer to make a backer for it, or background. Here's a bow that I already have done. Glue that there. And then I took some of the small music notes from when I cut the bigger ones out. I took some of the small ones and I just tucked them in around the pine needles. Just a few of them. Add some more character. Let's do one more like this. Put these 2 together. There we go. Now the last part, our Peace on Earth. 1 second and I'll show you our Peace on Earth die. This has some stragglers in it. Most of the webbing like that, I'll take my adhesive eraser once I get it down and erase it off. But since we all know I still, 20 days of videos and I still have not remembered to bring my adhesive eraser here. Girls, can you remind me when we get home to get my adhesive eraser and put it in my bag? There you go. We have a better chance of them remembering than me. All right, here's our Peace on Earth die. Now I'm just gonna finish up the A2 card really quick. And then my children and I are gonna go and see some Christmas lights. Maybe we'll do a short video for you guys out there so you can see how pretty it is out behind our building. That one there. And this bow I still have not glued down. When I'm lining the bows up or any of the other pieces, I look for one particular thing. Like for me on this bow, it's this long piece. I look for that to try to match them up. get this bow on. Put this on first. Put our little bow there. Hold it down for just a minute. And this one I might not need another note because I use that double note here. And I think that's good. There you go. Our Peace on Earth card for night 20 of the 25 Dies of Christmas. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our page if you want to see the rest of our videos, and we will see you again tomorrow night. Have a great night.